Good morning and welcome to part 2 of the series Molecular Basis of Inheritance. In this part, we will study Watson and Crick's double helix model of DNA and the structure of DNA. J.D. Watson, an American biologist, and F.H.C. Crick, an English chemist, designed a double helical model of DNA in 1953, and they were awarded the Nobel Prize along with Maurice Wilkins in 1962. It is interesting that Watson and Crick did not experiment ever. Their findings were based on the experiments done by other people. They derived their conclusions from the experiments done by Maurice Wilkins and R. Franklin, X-ray diffraction images, and E. Chargaff's findings on chemical composition of DNA. So, before discussing the double helical model of DNA, we should discuss the findings of these three workers. Maurice Wilkins and Rosalind Franklin did X-ray diffraction, and their images confirmed some of the configurations of DNA, which decided the dimensions of DNA and the spacing between the molecules in the double helix. So, the findings of Maurice Wilkins can be summarized in 3 points. Number 1, the DNA is having a helical configuration. And number 2, the diameter of the DNA molecule is constant, that is 20 angstrom or 2 nanometer. And the third finding of their experiment, the X-ray diffraction image, was that along the length of the DNA molecule, the DNA helix, there is regular spacing at 34 angstrom or 3.4 nanometer along its entire length. And so, along this 34 angstrom length, there was further spacing of 3.4 angstrom in each 34 angstrom turn. There were 10 such spaces. The studies of Erwin Chargaff on chemical composition also helped Watson and Crick for modeling the DNA double helix. The findings confirmed the chemical composition as purines and pyrimidines are always equal in amounts. This formed the basis of complementary base pairing. The complementary base pairing, that is, one purine joins one pyrimidine only in a double helix. This is called complementary base pairing. No purine can join with another purine and vice versa. No pyrimidine can join another pyrimidine. This is also because the purines and pyrimidines have differences in their chemical structures. You can see this. The pyrimidines are single chain compound, single ring compound, and purines are double ring compound. If there is joining of one purine with another purine in a double helix, it will widen the diameter of DNA at that place. And also, if there is linking between one pyrimidine with another pyrimidine, there will be a shrinkage in the diameter of the DNA. So, to maintain the symmetry of the DNA molecule, there is always a binding between one purine and one pyrimidine at a place. This is called complementary base pairing. Come to that point. The second finding of Erwin Chargaff was amount of adenine is equal to thymine and amount of guanine is equal to cytosine. This also confirms the bondage between adenine and thymine and guanine and cytosine. Adenine always binds with thymine and guanine binds with cytosine only. Adenine and thymine have 2 hydrogen bonds between them, and guanine and cytosine have 3 hydrogen bonds between them. The third finding was that adenine and thymine is not equal to amount of guanine and cytosine. That may vary. The base pairs of adenine plus thymine and base pairs of guanine and cytosine may vary in different samples of DNA. So these 3 findings of Irwin-Chargaff are called Chargaff's rules, and they also shape the DNA double helical model. Now we will discuss the characteristics of DNA double helix. DNA is a large polymer of deoxyribonucleotides. A nucleotide consists of 3 parts. The first molecule is nitrogenous base, the second is a deoxyribose sugar, and the third is phosphate. The nitrogenous bases are of 2 types. The one category is pyrimidines, which are single ring compounds, and the other category is purines, which are double ring compounds. The pyrimidines of nucleic acids are 3: cytosine, thymine, and uracil. Cytosine and thymine are the pyrimidines which are found in DNA, and in RNA, thymine is replaced by uracil. The purines of DNA and RNA both are similar. They are double ring compound, adenine and guanine. The sugar of DNA is deoxyribose sugar. The deoxyribose sugar is a 5 carbon, that is pentose sugar, and it is different from the ribose sugar in having the hydroxyl group at second position replaced by a hydrogen atom. So the deoxyribose sugar has only 2 hydroxyl groups, and the ribose sugar would have 3 hydroxyl groups at 1, 2 and 3 position. And on the left side you can see the structure of a nucleotide. 1 phosphate group and second deoxyribose sugar and 1 nitrogenous base. The nucleotides are connected together by phosphodiester bonds, and these nucleotides form long chain polymers of deoxyribonucleotides. These 2 strands run anti-parallel and held together by hydrogen bonds between nitrogenous bases that are joined on the inner side. What is the meaning of anti-parallelity? They are anti-parallel, that is, they are running parallel but in opposite directions. The directions of the strands is decided by the position of the carbon 5 of the deoxyribose sugar. The base pairing is complementary. Adenine joins with thymine and guanine joins with cytosine with 2 hydrogen bonds and 3 hydrogen bonds respectively. The significance of complementary base pairing is that it maintains the symmetry of DNA molecule as stated by me earlier, and also it maintains the accuracy during the DNA replication. Because of this complementary base pairing only, the replication is done so precisely. The double-stranded DNA is helically coiled on its own axis. The width of the helix is 20 angstrom or 2 nanometer. A complete turn of the helix is about 34 angstrom. A complete turn has 10 base pairs and the distance between two consequent base pairs is 3.4 angstrom. And the number of base pairs is 10 in a complete turn of DNA helix. This is the double helical model of DNA, and here you can see the two strands, and these are running anti-parallel. One strand is in 3 direction and the other strand has the 5 direction, and this is the and on the right side you can see the molecular structure of DNA.